Okay, here's our final card, and this is a slimline card, so it's going to be different now. I understand that this is the way that Close to My Heart is going to start doing it, where they're going to put some of the slimline cards into the card workshop, which is awesome because I think slimline cards get a little bit overlooked, including the 5x7 cards too, also get overlooked because they haven't been featuring them in the card workshop. So now they are, and this is going to be great. So you're going to go through and distress all of your pieces with the toffee ink, just like we did for all the other ones. And the only difference on this is they're going to be a lot longer. But these slimline cards will still send at the post office for the same price as a regular card, so you don't have to worry about upping it. But don't forget that sparkles or anything bulky in your cards could cause you to have more postage. So always keep that in mind if you're going to be sending these through the mail, whether you want to pay more postage or you could just hand them to the person and that's free. But I do tend to watch that when I go to the post office, and sometimes you can get away with it if there is not too much bulkiness, but it just depends on who it is at the post office that's taking your envelope. So, but just beware on that. So, all of this is going to be just distressing for a second here. I know it's kind of boring to watch, and I could speed this up a little bit more, but already I think this card is only going to take about 6 minutes because I did speed it up a little bit. Valerie and I are still learning this voiceover thing, so please have some patience with us as we kind of figure out how to do it all. I am actually recording this voiceover just a couple days before this needs to go up on the board. So it's been a while since I made these cards, and so if I forget something along the way, I hope you forgive me. Usually I do the voiceover right away after I've made the cards, but oh my gosh, got really, really busy in July with a 5-day retreat and a week-long retreat, and now I'm currently on a 4-day retreat. So it's been a lot of time away from home and been harder to get some of my work done. So, but anyway, go ahead and paint all those shells just like we did before with that toffee ink, and you're squeezing the ink pad to get the color, right? And then you add a little bit of water, but not too much. So I just kind of like wipe that paintbrush, the water brush off on the side a little bit if I'm getting too much water, or you can have just a little piece of paper towel near you and to just dab on it so that it doesn't get those shells too wet, because we don't want them to warp, and you know how paper can be. Now you're going to go ahead and do a little, swiping on the background piece for the sentiment, and same with the toffee ink, just like you did with the shells. And now we're going to stamp on that using Archival Black or your Intense Black, whichever ones you want to use on that, right over it. And that adds another kind of a beachy look to it. So time to put everything together. Get that toffee paper, get that down on the card, and then we've got our strips. And we are going to add some of that glitter paper to this today too. Remember, we didn't do that on card 3, but you can always add it. I mean, glitter paper, shimmer trim, any of that stuff. If you're trying to use it up, we've talked about using your stash. Pull out your stuff when you're making these workshops and see what else could go on these that you could use to use up some of your stash. So on this one, we're using up that glitter paper stash, but you could add more sparkles onto this. Besides shimmer trim and glitter paper, you could use your oh my gosh, I've lost my your shimmer brushes. Instead of using that ink thing, you could do that. Or you have a multitude of sentiments and embellishments, I'm sure, that you've collected over the years, including old stickers and stuff. So if you don't have them pulled out, you're never going to get them used. So when you start to make a project, pull out some of that stuff, go by the colors, and and pretty much, we only have like 40 colors. So if you've got some purples, they're probably going to match one of the purples in his, or some blue. So take those that pattern paper and attach it to the matching mats. We got 3 of those there. And I think I laid those flat. I don't think I popped those up on there. So just put a lot of adhesive because you're going to kind of be going over a bump, you know, in the piece that you just laid down. So you want to kind of use a lot of adhesive on the top and the bottom there. So it's going to lay flatter over the toffee paper because you've kind of taken it up a level there with the strips behind it. And then I think, I don't know, it looks like I did about a 1/2 inch from each side and then popped the other one up in the middle. And I just kind of try to always eyeball that one. And now we're going to put that sentiment on, and I'm going to pop that up with some foam tape because dimension is everything. But again, if you're taking it to the post office, you might want to keep it flatter. But I love dimension. And you can see I use a lot of pop tape and pop dots and stuff because I just don't want it to dip down in any part there. So I want it to stay really flat. And especially when you're going to be putting in an envelope, you just don't want it to kind of, you know, dive down in the middle or whatever. It's not as pretty. To put the one shell down flat and then pop the other one up on some foam tape. And that's going to look super cute. And then on the other thing, the other one on the upper right, you're going to do the same thing. Put the first shell down flat and then pop up the second one. Just like that. The sand dollar, that's the word I was looking for. Now grab some of those colored in sparkles and put a couple on the left hand side with those shells and then a couple on the right hand side. Just like that. Super easy. These are really fast cards. It's all in the prep, right? And there you go.